Connie greeted me as I walked in and poured 3 fingers of my favorite amber liquid in front of me, same as last Saturday. Stud Dave told me that if I sleep with you, then I will have to shelter you. Connie and I will not be able to provide you with the usual lifestyle. I answered with a smile, you can provide me with a much better standard of living than Dave over there. He makes me work at the bar with him every night. Be careful, it's either working in a bar or selling your body. We need to earn a living, Dave shouted in mock anger. Dave and Connie have run the northern bar at the Don't Tell Nobody Hotel for the past 10 years. I've come here with and without my wife Christy over the years, and we've become good friends. On Saturday nights, I like to come here to get away from it all, hopefully with some type of company. Northern is where I find companions, and where Connie offered me a bet. The bet I never dared make was that if I couldn't find a companion by closing time, Connie would be my guest in the hotel room I always booked for Saturday nights. The Northern wasn't the best bar in town, but it was located in a hotel and attracted people who wanted a spicy night away from their spouses or just a place to spice up their sex life. I wasn't looking for either one. I was a tool that women used for these purposes. You see, I'm a tall, dark, and handsome guy with a big spear. I am a lonely perch in this pond full of blackheads. Believe me, there are quite a few women who come here on Friday and Saturday nights looking for what I can give them. I try not to be a complete jerk when it comes to dating married people. Just one time. No long romance. I always bring them back to the hubbies after the ladies get itchy and act weird around me. I found that communication was the biggest marriage challenge these women faced. So I encourage them to have meaningful conversations with their husbands more often. I also looked after married guys. I wasn't always this guy. I was married for 8 years to the love of my life, but a couple of years ago, a car accident took my wife, Christy, from us, leaving me with 2 children. At first, no one could explain why she was on the west side at this time of day, but then, unfortunately, I found out. Tom Spags. That was the name of the lover she had for about the last month of her life. I told his wife Mary as soon as I found out about them and slept with her twice in retaliation, as she wanted. The second time she sent him pictures before throwing him out. Having learned that the woman I loved had betrayed me for some reason, I wanted revenge. My depressed brain decided that sleeping with women who wanted to stray on these Saturday nights was the exact kind of revenge. Yes, I left them after the first time without exposing them or ruining their reputation, but if they pursued me further, I would start a rumor about their infidelity, and it could reach their husbands. That was one part of the revenge. The other was that if they kept coming back for more, like my late wife did, I would use them as women. A few months ago, I met Tracy. She was a beautiful woman and flirted with me before asking if I wanted to take her to bed. Yes. That's exactly how she phrased it. Of course I did so, but noticing her engagement ring, I asked about her husband. He won't mind, he said. So, we had a really hot night. It was one of the best sexual experiences of my life. She was unexpectedly talented and did not hide anything from me. We'll be back. This Saturday, Tracy walked into Northern and immediately sat down next to me at the bar. Hi Rick, she said cheerfully. How are you? Tracy, I'm a polite person. I missed you, she whispered in my ear. Tracy, you know how I feel about married women. Have you discussed anything with your husband since we met? I gave her a way out by mentioning my husband. He never had what you have, Rick. She whispered again with a hint of excitement in her voice. This is exactly how I pictured my wife. So hearing Tracy's words made my blood boil. Was Christy really that disrespectful to me in her conversations with Tom? I'll never know. I grabbed Tracy by the shoulders and turned her so that we were face to face. Tracy, if you want us to get back together, you will have to obey me from now on. Do you understand what I'm talking about? I gave her a stern look so she knew I was serious and she could still refuse. It's not a problem, sir, she replied with a lustful grin. I leaned closer to her and quietly said, Go to the toilet, take off your panties and bring them to me. Tracy stood up from her chair, reached under her skirt, and pulled down her panties. The guy standing behind her got a full view of her charms. He looked at me, not believing his luck, and I just winked at him. Tracy sat down again, handed them to me, and smiled. "I'll do whatever you say, Rick. I'll be a for you." I guess I need to step up my dominant game with her. "Here's the key to my room. Go up to the room and take off your clothes. I want to finish my drink." Tracy immediately left the bar and entered the elevator. I took a sip from my glass, and Connie walked over to me. "Was it Tracy?" "Yeah, she came back for more." Connie knew what would happen if I went upstairs. She had seen the results of what had happened to several married women who had returned to me, and she wanted to try to save Tracy from that. "Connie, she's a big girl now. If you don't let her come to me, she'll just go to someone else to get what she wants." "I understand. I really do, Rick, but you need to end this revenge tour of yours. Even if the women deserve it, it will eat you up eventually." "I know, Connie, but it won't happen today," I told her, finishing my drink and heading towards the elevator. I opened the door to the room and saw Tracy leaning in bed under the covers. "I wasn't sure you'd come, Rick." I was finishing my drink before getting up. "Come here and undress me." "Yes, sir." Tracy grinned. For the next 2 hours, I used her body for my pleasure. She did everything I wanted. What could make a woman do this? What need was being satisfied in her when she did this? I didn't know Tracy well enough to ask her to explain her feelings or needs, but I really wanted to know if Christy was the same. The only one who had an answer was Tom. I knew where his apartment was, so the next day I took my mother and children to a park not far from there. I told my mom I needed to meet someone and asked her to babysit Cindy and Jimmy for a while. She was more than happy to do so, but her radar was on, and she gave me a suspicious look. Maybe I'll explain to her later. Tom didn't want to open the door at first, but I explained that I wasn't going to hurt him, and he finally let me in. There was little second-hand furniture in the apartment, and nothing hanging on the walls. It seems that Mary took revenge, not only with me, but also with the divorce. "Tom, I need to know about your relationship with Christine. Why did you two get together?" "Rick, I'm nervous about what I might tell you. I don't want you to lose your temper again like after the funeral. Tom, we both know that I have good feelings for you, but since Christy's death, things haven't been going well for me. I need to calm down a little, and you are the only one who can give it to me. I know it will hurt me to hear what you have to say, and I will probably be angry, but I won't lash out at you." "Why should I tell you anything? You ruined my marriage. You slept with my wife twice." Tom answered angrily. "At least you had a chance to try to save the marriage you destroyed. You could have talked to Mary. Well, I didn't even suspect that there was anything wrong with my marriage while Christy was alive. I was quite emotional and stopped myself from appearing too nervous." "What exactly do you want to know, Rick?" "We had sex. Neither of us was in love. We only met twice. I don't know about Christy, but I had a feeling that we were all coming to an end. The first time, she was very enthusiastic. The last time we were together, she didn't really like it." "Did she ever tell you why? Was she planning to leave me?" I said this more harshly than I intended. "She loved you, Rick. She never intended to leave you. She never really told me why she decided to cheat on you, but I got the impression that she thought you cheated on her." Was she depraved for you?" "What? No, it wasn't like that. We just had regular sex, no perversions." "Well, we never said anything bad about our spouses." Honestly, Rick, thinking back on some of the things she said while we were having sex, I think she was using me as revenge. I just thought she was into it at the time. But I remember her telling me to use his wife several times. She wouldn't say that if she needed sex herself. I had tears streaming down my face after I heard Tom quote Christy's words. I never cheated on her. Why did she think that? You told her that I was cheating on her? I shouted. No, I swear, Rick. I worked with Christy for 2 years. She was in love with you, and I never hit on her. I was in love with Mary. I don't know where she could have gotten the idea that you cheated on her, No one gained anything by telling her that. I was looking for a solution, but instead, I got a mystery. Who told Christy that I cheated on her if not Tom? Thank you for telling me about your relationship with Christy. This actually helped me figure it out a bit. I'm really sorry about Christy, Rick. She truly loved you, no matter what happened between us. I hope you can find some peace once you find what you're looking for. I went back to the park and played with the kids for another hour before taking them to their favorite McDonald's restaurant. Mom felt that something happened while I was gone. We loaded the kids into the car, and on the way home, she asked if I was okay. I said, "We'll talk at home." The kids wanted to swim as soon as we walked in. My mom and I put their swimwear on and sat by the pool to chat. "Where did you go this afternoon, Rick?" "I met with Tom Spags. I needed to ask him some questions." "Oh, Rick, you didn't do anything stupid, did you? You can't afford to get arrested. Children need their dad." "I just asked him about him and Christy. He thinks Christy thought I cheated on her and had sex with him as revenge." "Do you trust him, Rick?" "Who would lie to Christy about something like that?" "I don't know, Mom. For me, if Christy was lied to and she decided to take revenge, then somehow it's better than thinking that I wasn't enough for her. Tom told me that he didn't say that to seduce her. I believe him. Why would he lie to me now if it didn't matter? If not him, then who? To be honest, I have no idea at all. I didn't sleep well for the next week. My mom and I went through every name we could think of that had shown interest in Christy over the years. No one came to mind who would try to destroy our marriage. When Saturday came, I wasn't even sure I wanted to go anywhere. Mom came in at 9, as she did every Saturday night, practically pushed me out the door. "You need to go have a few drinks and meet women, or whatever you do to calm down. Every week, son, you look exhausted, and sitting here all night isn't going to help matters." "Okay, Mom, I'll be home at the usual time." At the bar, Connie challenged me with her usual bet when I walked in. I sat down at the bar counter. Tracy came and sat next to me as Connie set my drink in front of me. I wasn't in the mood for socializing and probably shouldn't have come to the bar. But Tracy needed something and didn't care about my level of interest. "Tracy, didn't Connie warn you last week that you'd be in trouble if you kept coming after me?" "Connie says this to all the girls, Rick. She's just jealous that you never made her yours." "Should I wait for you upstairs, sir?" Tracy asked with a sparkle in her eyes. I handed her the key to my room and she left. I'd been scratching my head all week about who might have lied to Christy about me and why. Then, suddenly, the light bulb above my head came on, and I felt sick. Tracy turned away to go upstairs before I realized the revelation, so she didn't see me jump up angrily. Connie was waiting at a table when I approached her. She turned and smiled at me until she saw the look in my eyes. Turned pale, covered her mouth with her hand, and tears filled her eyes. "Oh, Rick, I am so sorry. I thought that you and I could." I cut her off. "You killed her. You ruined my marriage and Tom and Mary's marriage. My children don't have a mother. Why?" "I'm in love with you, Rick. I love—" "Don't you dare say you love me. What kind of monster of love destroys a marriage with 2 small children?" Dave came and stood between us. He pushed me away until he heard my words. Then he stopped and looked at Connie incredulously. "Connie, what is he saying?" "Oh my God, Dave, please listen to me. I don't think I need to hear this anymore. Bastard, get your ass out of this bar. Go home, pack up your junk, and go to your friend Terry. If you haven't left by the time I get home after the bar closes, I'll throw you out." Tracy came down to the bar about 15 minutes or so later. He saw that something had happened. "Rick, are you okay?" she asked worriedly. "Did you know about Connie, Tracy? What's with her? She told Christy that I was cheating on her so that she would have a chance to meet me." Tracy immediately could not stand it and fell to her knees. "Oh no, I didn't know anything, Rick, I swear. How could she do this? Oh my God, Cindy and Jimmy, those poor kids." She wailed, her desperation for my children surprising me. She didn't even know them, but she was crushed knowing what they had to go through just because someone wanted to have sex with. I'm going home, Tracy. I can't. Are you going to be okay? Do you want me to come over so you have someone to talk to? No, I'm fine, Tracy. Thank you. Don't do anything stupid, Rick. Call me if you need a friendly voice or someone to just vent to. I am available at any time. Thank you, Tracy. I returned home and my mother felt it. Rick, are you okay? What's happened? It was Connie, I said quietly. Who is Connie? Mom asked, confused. She works at the bar I always go to. Christy and I were friends with her and her husband. She killed her mom. She told Christy that I cheated, and Christy trusted her enough to believe her, I said, looking into space, my mind lost 1,000 miles away. Oh, Rick, baby, I am so sorry. I stayed home the next Saturday, and the next two. Finally, my mother demanded that I leave the house and do what I used to do to help myself relax. I wasn't sure I wanted it. I went out anyway to another bar a few blocks east. I'd been to Dog's Bar before. It was more of a honky-tonk bar. It was fun, but with a slightly different type of people. More groups of young men hanging out with their friends than the wives and others who frequented the Northern. I sat down at the counter and ordered 3 fingers of brown. Before I could even take a sip, Tracy came up behind me and hugged me tightly. Where have you been, Rick? Tracy, what are you doing here at the Dogs? Tracy looked down at her feet and muttered something. What did you say, Tracy? I can't hear you over the music. I said I was looking for you. She shouted this time, looking into my eyes. I was worried about you. Do you want to get out of here, Tracy? It's so loud in here, you can barely speak. Course, Tracy shouted with a smile. My car was parked close to the entrance, and we were both leaning against the driver's door talking. Tracy, do you want to go to another bar? We could go to Northern or somewhere else if you want. We could go to my house, Rick. Tracy suggested with hope in her eyes. I'm pretty sure your husband would disapprove of this. Tracy's behavior suddenly changed. I live alone, Rick. Sam left. Did he leave you? Did he find out about your cheating? Now she looked angry. I have never cheated on my husband. I was with you after. Tracy began to cry, apparently thinking about Sam. Tracy, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were divorced. When we first met, you said you're married. Now Tracy was sobbing. I hugged her and she cried into my shoulder. He didn't divorce me, Rick. He died. I'm so sorry, Tracy. I did not know. And probably no one knew. Was this right before we met? No, this was before your wife died. When you walked in without her, looking so lost, I decided I was going to stalk you. Tracy, I feel even more lost now than I did then. Someone I considered a friend lied to my wife about me. My wife decided to take revenge for my supposed betrayal and then died in a car accident. I still had no idea what was going on. I know how you feel, Rick. Sam died of a heart attack in bed with his young administrative assistant. And not only did I not know he was having an affair, but I didn't even know he had an administrative assistant. We both chuckled mirthlessly. What are you proposing then, my little? I asked, reminding Tracy of what she told me a few weeks ago. Go. Tracy gave me a big smile. I would like to take you home and wear you out all night. In the morning, I would like to go home with you and meet your mother and children for breakfast. Then I would like to take you and the kids to the zoo, and then come home, get cleaned up, and have a romantic dinner. Then we'll come back here, and you can make love to me all night again. I'd like to do this every weekend until we fall head over heels in love, and you ask me to marry you. By jiggers, that's exactly what we did for the next 6 months until we got married. One small change was that Tracy was 4 months pregnant. It didn't really change anything other than she became the designated driver, and I could drink as much as I wanted. Dave divorced Connie as quickly as possible. Word got out about what she had done, and she eventually moved to the coast to escape the glare. Dave was a sweet man, and eventually married the bartender he hired to replace Connie. They worked in the bar together for many more years. Tracy and I only had one child together, Harry. This gave us a total of 3 children, and that was enough. She was kind and loving to all children. Cindy and Jimmy fell in love with her and called her mom shortly after we got married. Tracy was proud to be mine. At some point during the evening, she called me, "Sir," letting me know that she was waiting for the children to be put to bed. My only problem was keeping Tracy from waking everyone up when she reached her peak. The ball gag did its job, but I liked kissing too much to leave it on for long. Such a dilemma. Subscribe to our channel so that your second half doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.